Hello and welcome to the season finale of the ZTV Sports Report, your home for all things Akron Zips athletics. I'm your host, Megan Williams.
And I'm Zach Leininger.
And in today's episode, we are going to conclude our coverage of all the fall sports. So don't go anywhere, because the ZTV Sports Report starts now. To start off today's episode, we're going to take a look at the football team, so let's take it over to Zach and see what he thought of their recent matchup against the EMU Eagles.
What's good, Zips fans? Zach Leininger here, and today I'll be covering the Zips football team's recent home matchup against the Eastern Michigan Eagles. Akron came into this game with a 1-6 overall record, coupled with a 0-3 conference record, looking to keep their postseason hopes alive and secure their first conference win. Eastern Michigan entered the contest boasting a 5-2 overall record to go along with a 2-1 conference record, poised to become bowl eligible and prove why they deserve to be considered one of the top teams in the Mid-American Conference. The Zips got on the board first with a 3-yard rush by Taj Bullock and followed it up with a pass to take an 8-0 lead with 2:53 left in the first quarter. Akron then proceeded to extend their lead to 11 after a field goal from Garrison Smith less than a minute into the second. The Zips defense continued to frustrate the Eagles offense, keeping them off of the field for much of the first half. To add insult to injury, Bullock found the end zone once again on a 14-yard rushing touchdown to give Akron a commanding 18-0 lead heading into halftime. Eastern Michigan came out of the locker room in the second half seeking vengeance. They did just that as Cole Stander picked apart the Zips defense, eventually finding Jerry Getzinger in the middle of the end zone to put points on the board. The Eagles tacked on 2 more and found themselves down only 10 with 6:15 left in the third quarter. Eastern Michigan continued to mount a comeback, driving down the field once again. Deja vu struck Akron as Snyder found Getzinger wide open over the middle of the field for his second touchdown of the game. Fortunately for the Zips, Jesus Gomez missed the point after, bringing the score to 18-14 with 31 seconds left in the third. After forcing another stop, the Eagles offense tried to back onto the field and picked up right where they left off with a 79-yard catch and run to set themselves up deep in Akron territory. From there, Eastern Michigan turned to the ground and Delbert Mims III punched in the Eagles' third touchdown of the afternoon with 7:41 to go in the fourth. Faced with a 21-point run from Eastern Michigan, the Zips came back out on the field in desperate need of a score. Akron did just that, with a methodical drive capped off by a 21-yard touchdown pass from Ben Finley to Adrian Norton. The Eagles attempted to answer back, however multiple stops by the defense staved off Eastern Michigan's attack, and the Zips held on to win 25-21. With this victory, Akron snapped a 4-game losing streak and earned their first conference win of the season. Coming up, the Zips will welcome the Buffalo Bulls into Infosystem Stadium on Senior Day as they seek to keep this momentum rolling. This has been Zach Leininger with the ZTV Sports Report, and as always, go Zips!
Thank you, Zach. So, our football team finally found their way off the struggle bus, which is always good to see. In this Eastern Michigan game against the Eagles, we were able to win 25-21, which is always what we like to see. But sadly, right after this game, we had another home game against the Buffalo Bulls, and we were not so lucky. We lost that game 41-30. The Bulls just kind of stampeded right over us. So, what do you think of these games?
Yeah, Megan, looking into these 2 games, specifically Eastern Michigan to start here, this was a game preseason that I didn't I didn't see the Zips winning based on how Eastern had played, in the season before, given how they were playing coming into this. They were 5-2, only 1-2 in the conference, but not too many games in, so Eastern was still there near the top. But Akron didn't let that discourage them. I mean, as we take a look into the stats, up 8 at the end of the first, up 18 at halftime, and then their lead is thwarted by a series of scores by Eastern Michigan, puts them up 3. But kudos to Ben Finley and the Akron Zips offense for really hanging in there, driving down the field. They take a lead with about 4 to go, and ended up holding it to the end there. But then when I look into the breakdown of the stats, they had a 220 to 121 lead in rushing there. Then you go to passing. Eastern really beat them out 354 to 157. So, just looking at it, you would expect a close game, and the score reflects that. Again, not a game that I expected the Zips to win, but it was a must-win game for them.
Yeah.
If they wanted any chance at a bowl game appearance. The conference tournament, since they've taken away the East and West divisions, is already out of the talks here. But but just really building on last season and getting to the postseason just for the experience and the exposure, I think would be good for the team.
Yeah.
But then we hop over to this Buffalo game, and all that momentum we gathered in this game, all the direction you thought this team was going, just completely goes off the map here. When you look at this game, Akron scores 1 minute and 44 seconds into the game. A crazy fast drive, 5 plays, 71 yards. And you're thinking, wow, Akron has all this momentum. This could be a blowout. Akron's got this game. They're in full control of this. But then it was just a series of, as we've seen throughout the season, just a series of self-inflicted wounds by this team.
Yeah.
I mean, multiple interceptions by Ben Finley. Capped off by a turnover on downs, created like 4 or 5 turnovers in a row.
Yeah.
And it allows Buffalo to go on a 38-0 run. And
That's
Akron,
awful.
yeah, and then Akron doesn't score. Akron doesn't score until 9 seconds into the fourth quarter. But then speaking of that, Akron out of nowhere really starts to get things going, as you would have expected earlier in the game.
Yeah.
They score themselves 23 straight and put themselves down 8 with 3 minutes to go. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, once again, another self-inflicted wound. And Akron's punt returner fumbles the ball, gives Buffalo the ball there, on like the 25-yard line. Already puts them in field goal range. They got to stop there quick, but not enough to avoid a field goal. So then Akron goes down 11 there at the end of the game and weren't able to come back. And it's just a frustrating game because I had such high hopes for this team. I really thought they were a 5 to 6 win team. And given what we've seen this season, they had every opportunity to do that. But now with this Buffalo game, any hope of the MAC championship, as I discussed earlier, was already crushed. Yeah. So all they were fighting for here was that postseason berth, having a chance at a bowl game. But now mathematically it is out of the cards here.
There's no way.
And it's just a game, you look, Akron's beat 180 to 74 in rushing, but then, contrasting from, the Eastern Michigan game, 378 to 210 in passing. Mm-hmm. So they had a sizable advantage there. But, they couldn't capitalize on the opportunities they were given. They committed far too many turnovers, and now they're in, pretty much the same situations they were last year, looking at 2 wins heading into these last couple games of the season. And it's really time to buckle down. I think there's a lot of conversations that are going to have to take place this offseason, especially considering Joe Moorhead and his position as the coach. This will be, I think, his 3rd season in a row with only like 2 wins, and just not getting the production out of the team that you would expect. It's not entirely on him, as I discussed. There's a number of issues on this team. Defense has played really well this season. It's just the offense has not done their job in many games, and it's just frustrating, and that's That's really all I have to say.
So, Zach, I think it's fair to say that this men's football team just needs to do a lot better next season. And with that, we're going to talk men's soccer. So let's take it over to Taz and see what he thought about their matchup against DePaul.
Hello, sports fans. This is Taz with ZTV Sports Report. In the men's soccer match between DePaul and Akron, the Big East Championship quarterfinals, Akron secured a decisive 3-1 victory at First Energy Stadium. Akron, ranked number 13 nationally, started strong with a 27th minute goal from Victor Goldman, assisted by Malik Henry. 3 minutes later, Emil Jaskalainen added his 21st goal of the season, cleaning up a deflection following a free kick. Early in the second half, Jaskalainen scored again with a header, marking his 22nd goal and cementing Akron's dominance. DePaul's lone goal came in the 67th minute, with Logan Finnegan capitalizing on a pass from Liam Mullins to finish his collegiate career on a high note. Despite DePaul's efforts, Akron's controlled possession and robust defense limited their opportunities, allowing only 3 shots in total. With this win, Akron advanced to the Big East semifinals for the first time in program history within the conference. This was Taz with ZTV Sports Report. Go Zips!
Thank you, Taz. So, Zach, this DePaul game was no different than the rest of the season, really, for this men's soccer team. We beat them 3-1. And our men's soccer team has just been a show of dominance in this conference all season. In fact, earlier this week, the Big East Conference awards came out, and we got Best Coaching Staff, Best Offensive, Defensive, and Goalie of the Year, which is just absolutely amazing to hear. I love that for us. We deserve it. We really do.
Absolutely.
Our team is just stacked. And in this DePaul game, for example, we had 2 different scorers. We had Victor Goldman and Emil Jaskalainen, who scored 2, which is just not shocking at all. He's amazing for us. Top scorer in the entire country, so not shocked that he scored 1. So what do you have to say about this DePaul game?
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, this men's soccer team has just continued their run of dominance that we've seen since conference play started. You know, they boast a 7-0-1 record, you know, coming into this game, and you know, that really showed. You know, going back to last season, they beat DePaul 3-0, and then earlier this season beat them 4-0. So, given the previous history, you would expect this game to be more of the same, and that's pretty much exactly what we got. I mean, 2-0 there at halftime, and it wasn't until the 63rd minute that DePaul was even able to get on the board. But from there, it was a little too. It was too little, too late at that point in the game. Taking a look into the stats is really where we see the biggest differences here.
Yeah.
Akron had 14 shots to DePaul's 3.
Oh my goodness.
And on top of that, DePaul was only able to get 2 of those on goal. Akron had 6 on goal. So it was really just a matter of Akron being the aggressor, gaining the momentum and not letting go of it.
Yeah.
Just setting themselves up for more opportunities, and obviously the more shots you take on goal, the more likely you have a chance to score. And it was just evident that this DePaul team was struggling. I mean, they were they were the 8th seed coming into this, so the last team in, having to go up against Akron is not an easy task, especially a red-hot Akron team.
Yes.
Mitch Butler did his job back there. Gave up 1 but saved 1 there. So shout out to Mitch. Even all he's done this season, and this Akron Zips team, as I mentioned in the last episode, as long as they continue to do what they've done, since conference play started, as long as they've been able to, control the defensive side of the ball, get the ball into the hands of the players that can score, and just continue to play the style of play they've played, in these past couple months here. I see no reason why they don't win the conference here, put themselves in a great position to compete in the national tournament. And I'm excited to see where this team goes. The sky is absolutely the limit for this team. Yeah,
for sure. I'm really excited to see where we end up going in this NCAA tournament. We could play anybody, so it's going to be really exciting to see us play a new team. It is now time for our first commercial break, but after that, we're going to talk Zips volleyball, so stay tuned.
You're watching ZTV.
Sam, Elmo.
Oh, hey, Julia. Are you ready to play band with us? I'm going to play my clarinet.
And Elmo's gonna play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
Jason, let's go see your room.
What do you think? We kept it a little spare, so you can decorate it how you like.
Dinner! Go?
Excellent. Soccer is fun. Yeah, I saw you guys out there. I thought you were on my team.
Welcome back. So now it is time to talk Zips volleyball. So in this Toledo matchup, Zach, we all knew it was going to be difficult. Going against the Rockets and Taylor Alt is never an easy feat, considering Taylor Alt got 20 kills in this match. But on our side of the net, our very own Melina Christovoulou was able to get 21 kills. So she said, you know, Taylor, I see you're 20, and I'm going to up you one more.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of her for that one. That's a big feat, being able to beat Taylor in kills. Good for her. And then Delaney Gash, the freshman, number 13, is doing amazing for us this season and got 11 kills just herself this game, so good for her. Good freshman game for sure. I'm very excited to see how she continues to do as she grows with this team. So what do you need to say about this Toledo game?
I think looking at this Toledo game, it's just clear that this Zips volleyball team, you know, hasn't really haven't made the adjustments necessary that we talked about last episode. Those two being increasing their hitting percentage and lowering the number of errors they commit. Looking into this Toledo game, Toledo hit 226 to 217. Not a huge discrepancy, but you know, Akron needs to be to me in the 300s to be competing. Given the number of errors they commit,
Yeah.
you know, 25 to 20 to Toledo's 23. Again, not a big discrepancy, but those errors add up over the course of the game. You know, it's just a lot of free points you're giving away. You know, a lot of missed opportunities to put the ball into play, to give players like Christovoulou and Gash, who were playing well throughout the game, you know, not allowing them to have a factor in that point is pretty tough. And then you consider, like, you know, players like Carliana Jones and you know, Melissa Torre, you know, those middle blockers in the middle, them not having a chance, them being high impact players, not having a chance to impact the ball is going to hurt them big time. But you know, you have to give credit where credit's due to this Toledo Rockets team. I mean, they're always a solid team every year. They're always, you know, in the running, you know, for the MAC. They're always right there near the top. You know, led again by, you know, fifth-year senior Taylor Alt. She's continued to do what she always does, and that's, you know, be a dangerous hitter on the outside. 20 kills. I mean, as we know already from last season, she's the all-time kills leader in Toledo history. Then behind her, Izzy Granger was having a great game. it's just, they played a great game. Akron did compete. That is one thing that I can't knock them for. In 25-18, 25-23 in the third set, took a 25-18 lead themselves, and then really battled through that fourth set, just weren't able to come out on top, and just really wore them down, and didn't allow Akron to take advantage of that momentum they had.
Yeah.
And it was just it's a frustrating win, or frustrating loss, sorry, in a game that this Zips team needed to win. Looking towards the postseason. I think around this time they either had to win out, or they couldn't take many more losses, and this was a huge loss for the team. And but again, to end this on a bright note, shout out to the setters on both sides. Macy Hakovich with 43 for Toledo, and then Aliska for the Zips. Another 40-plus assist game, 41 in this game. Just created for some exciting action. Just not action that rolled in Akron's favor.
Yeah. So it is now time to go into our second commercial break. But after that, we're going to talk about the women's soccer team. So stay tuned.
You're watching ZTV.
Markiplier.
Yeah.
Markiplier.
Love that guy.
Yeah, that he did a.
Dude. Hello?
Bradley?
Yeah?
Chadley?
Yeah? Oh. Say it again. Yeah? Did you see that? I think that dude just left with a baby. So he just bought a baby from Chick-fil-A.
You're one of those guys.
What's that mean?
You just don't like to see happy people.
What is it, Julia? Why are you so excited, honey? Hey, do you want to use your talker? With Julia's autism, using a talker can help her find the words she wants to say.
My dog.
You want to do something with Rose, Julia?
Play ball.
Do you want to play catch with Rose? I think Rose is excited to play catch too. Oh, Julia, you show us so many different ways to talk together. Oh, and play. Good catch, Rose. Okay, give Julia the ball. There you go. Okay, throw the ball, Julia. Oh.
For Julia's family, early screening for autism made a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
Welcome back. It is now time for our final segment, and it's time to talk about the women's soccer team. So, Zach, this women's soccer team really hasn't been changing up their actions lately, which is not what we like to see, because they just keep losing. In this Eastern Michigan game, once again, the Eagles soared over us, winning 1-0. Our team just could not get anything going. We only had 5 shots on goal the entire game, which is never good. And overall, this team has just been really disappointing this season, to say the least. So what do you have to say about this game?
Megan, I don't know what there is really to say about this women's team at this point. A team that started 5-0-2 ends the season 5-9-4, 9 straight losses in the conference after having their best start since 2008 it was.
Yeah.
It just a disappointing way to end the season, and a team that had so much potential, to see the way it's turned out is
for sure
disgusting, quite frankly. They 15 shots in this game, 5 on goal. They were doing a great job of being aggressive. I mean, that's more shots. Eastern had 12, 4 shots on goal, so more than Eastern was able to put up on their side. But they they took advantage of the opportunity they had to score, and we just had some opportunities, sailed a few over the post, put a few, misplaced a few passes, a few balls there. And it's just, I don't know. It's so hard to talk about. And, shout out to a few of these girls though. Morgan Pence, stepping up, being a leader with 3 shots on goal in this game, really leading the way. Alan McMillan has been a scorer as of recent. She got a shot there. Olivia Heskett got a couple opportunities on goal to score there. I just think at this point, looking at how the season is shaped out, how the season has gone the last few seasons, I think it's worth considering moving on from Simon Eddy. I know that might be a hot take. I know she just got here. I know it's like her 3rd season in. I know that she had such a great start to the season, but just to end the season the way you did, I don't know. I guess maybe there's some room for growth there, just allowing the team to use this as fuel for next season. Kind of like how the men's team did last season. They got into conference play. They struggled in that, and then this season they've really turned it around and been dominant because of that experience. Maybe the same is true for this women's team. I don't know though.
So Zach, I think all that's left to say is that we just need to overall do better offensively and defensively, and that's really all there is to say.
Yeah.
So that'll be it for today's episode. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and X at ZTV Sports and on YouTube at ZTV Sports Report. As always, I'm Megan Williams.
And I'm Zach Leininger.
Thank you for watching, and go Zips!
This program was produced by ZTV at the University of Akron. Do you want to gain experience in video production, professional social media, or working with real clients? Visit the UA School of Communications online or follow us on social media to learn more. ZTV, make media, make a difference.